fantasy. Tell me why my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who will try. I'm not letting life pass me by. Tell me when the days are less gray. Tell me when
goodness. Memorial Day weekend signifies the unofficial start of the summer. I hope when the weather gets warmer that WWE starts to heat things up. Feels like creative was left in the winter, bro. Monday Night Raw. Par for the course, as usual. They started great. They ended great. Everything in between. I'm still wondering when I should care. Right now, I don't. It could also be that I'm very much sleep deprived because Tony Khan seemingly can't end a fucking pay-per-view before 12 o'clock, midnight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're drinking them cold tonight, but I may need my non-alcoholic. Your boy's tired. Tonight we're going to the beer garden, man. The weather's beautiful. And the ambiance is right where it needs to be. And when I get there on this Monday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw Post Show for Memorial Day, May 26th, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening, wherever you may be. Your boy's tired, bro. I am very much tired. I did not officially fall asleep till about 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. this morning. I laid in bed till about 11:45. And then it was such a nice day outside and the windows were open and the sun was glaring into my bedroom. I legitimately peeled myself out of bed to basically sit in this chair and prep for yet another day of glorious work in the world of professional wrestling and content creation, man. Gee, how envious everybody is of what I do. You can thank Tony fucking Khan because his pay-per-views seemingly get longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. But the creative somehow gets worse and worse and worse and worse. These shows don't end before midnight anymore. You know, scaling it back to start at 7 p.m. goes a long way there, boss man. I'm not here to talk about fucking AEW. I'm here to talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was not a bad show. It wasn't a bad show. I can't physically, and this is the narrative that's going around. Oh, well, these shows are absolutely terrible, JD. You don't know what terrible is. Everybody that tells me this is a terrible show, you genuinely do not know what terrible is. Are they great shows? Not even close. Are they good shows? That's a stretch. Are they okay? Suitable? Content? Yes. Comfortable? Sure. But great? No. Bad? No. Said it for the last 7 days. They are in that comfortable zone. They are in that indifferent zone. It's not bad. It's not good. It's boring. You don't want to be boring, bro. You don't want to be boring. That's exactly where they are right now. So for everybody that says this show sucks, this show is bad, I'm not even blinking. You're out. I want nothing to do with you. I don't want to converse with you. I don't want you in my realm, in my space. You're out. So if you see anybody claiming that this show is terrible, goodbye. Get him out. You don't know what terrible is. I lived through Vince McMahon and the Thunderdome. These are not bad shows. They're boring shows. Boring. Don't know why, but they're boring. The biggest takeaway for tonight's show. I was looking forward to most. Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed joined Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman at Saturday night's main event in what I thought was a fantastic creative move. He fits like a glove. He looks like a beast. He fits and makes that group into a legitimate badass trio. And they are not done yet. I think they added the third man, right? I think there's going to be a fourth man. Whomever that may be, we don't know. But I do think, and I would not be surprised that they end up adding a fourth man. That was the biggest takeaway. What Bronson Reed or Seth Rollins or Paul Heyman was going to say about the actions of Big Bronson Reed on Saturday night's main event, where he absolutely squashed like a bug CM Punk with a massive tsunami splash. They gave you the explanation. They gave you a very good explanation. Could it have been a little bit better? Everything could be a little bit better, man. Everything could be a little bit better. You could be a little bit better. You could be a better person than you were yesterday, today. You could be a better person tomorrow than you were today on Monday. Everybody could be better. Me, I could be better. I don't have a great day. I could be better tomorrow. I will be better tomorrow. Everything could be better. It was very vague. It's the one negative I have to say about it. The explanation was very vague. Paul Heyman's explanation was that Bronson Reed destroyed Seth Rollins the way that he did, and it opened up the eyes of Seth Rollins to a point where he wanted to enlist his savagery for his group, for his mission statement. It's more than a reason that many were expecting. Some people didn't even expect a reason or an explanation tonight. We got one. Now, granted, Bronson Reed did deliver 6 tsunamis to Seth Rollins. He did. It's a great move. It's a great segment. It's an all-timer in the last 5 years. One that made Bronson Reed into an overnight superstar. I could see why some people would be a little flabbergasted by, well, he did that to Seth Rollins. Now he's in the group. Please explain. I think it makes a lot of sense. And Bronson Reed, even at one point, had stated, there's no hard feelings. You did it back when you were on the rise, and I just looked to make a name for myself, and I chose you to do it. Seth Rollins, one of the biggest superstars that the company's had over the last 10 years. I chose you to make my name off of. No hard feelings. If you were in my shoes, in fact, you would have done and did the same thing. What more of an explanation do you need? It's all you need. He didn't want to do it. He had to do it. That's why Seth Rollins enlisted Bronson Reed for his group. There you go. So for all the people in the back of the classroom, oh, well, I'm still waiting for an explanation on why Bronson Reed, JD from NY206. There you go. There you go. I even said this on Saturday night. I didn't even mention that. I mentioned on Saturday night's main event where we talked about the show, which was awful, by the way. Saturday night's main event, that the last time we saw Bronson Reed, he was in War Games, teaming with Solo Sikoa's Bloodline 2.0 against Roman's OG Bloodline and CM Punk. Who was in that match with Bronson Reed, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns? Conveniently, two guys. Two guys that Seth Rollins cannot stand. The hatred for both men from Seth Rollins is immense. Bronson Reed was in that match with both of those guys. What did Bronson Reed do in that match? He broke his foot. Very, very devastating injury. He was about to ascend the steel cage. He got up top, and he was about to deliver the greatest tsunami splash in his career on Roman Reigns. Before he came down, CM Punk pulled Roman Reigns off the table, which allowed Bronson Reed to go through the table and in the process break his foot. Bronson Reed broke his foot thanks to CM Punk while he was aiming for Roman Reigns, two guys that are the arch nemesis of Seth Rollins, who is now his leader. Again, what more do you want as an explanation? There you go. They didn't explain that part. I don't think they will. I'm just adding that as the cherry on top. They gave you enough as a reason as to why Bronson Reed joined Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman. There you go. I love it. I like the makeup of the group. They gave you an explanation. Rollins had a Money in the Bank contract qualifier match tonight against Finn Bálor and Sami Zayn, which he did qualify for. He's already said, I had my opportunity at the World Championship. I would be the world champion if it wasn't for CM Punk. But I found my way another opportunity that is going to be far greater for me in the end. Because when I win Money in the Bank, I control when I cash in, and I control when I rule them all. It's basically what he set out to do and said tonight. Very basic. We got what we needed. An explanation as to why Bronson Reed joined the group and what Seth Rollins was going to do when he wins Money in the Bank. The other thing I liked about the opening segment was that Paul Heyman got back to doing business, meaning he was not a background player, meaning he didn't just grab the microphone for Seth Rollins. He wasn't there to acknowledge and bow down to his guys. He spoke up and he put over Braun Breaker. He put over Bronson Reed while giving an explanation as to why Bronson Reed joined the group, and he put over the leader of said group in Seth Rollins. When you have Paul Heyman there and him cutting a promo next to someone like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, that goes a long way for somebody's career. He basically said tonight, in so many words, that Braun Breaker is not only a badass, but when you get to WrestleMania 46, 47, 48, 49, WrestleMania 50, there will be one name synonymous with the main event of the future of this company at WrestleMania, and that will be Braun Breaker. Do you know how valuable those words are to the career of Braun Breaker? He didn't lift a fucking finger up until the main event. Paul Heyman put him over in front of millions of people, basically saying that come 5 years, this is the guy you're going to be watching that's going to be a household name main eventing WrestleMania. That is worth more than anything that could possibly happen to Braun Breaker at this stage of the game. When Paul Heyman says it, it holds so much fucking weight that people in this industry would die to be in Braun Breaker's shoes. He said the same thing about Bronson Reed. And he said the same thing about Seth Rollins. He called him Rollins called himself the architect, the revolutionary. But Paul Heyman basically said to Rollins, to the crowd, acknowledge him. Acknowledge him. He did that to two other people before Rollins, one of them being Roman Reigns. So yes, everything is coming together with this group. Is it a really, really great trio on screen? They look fucking great. I can't wait to see what materializes coming out of this, as I do think that we are getting slow drip content with this group. I'd like to see more done. I feel like the group is great. The makeup of the group is fantastic, but we need some more. It's great that they added Bronson Reed, but what are they doing to basically tell me, give me the feeling, I feel like I'm talking about the fucking Death Riders. What are they doing to give me, the viewer, the feeling that they are overtaking Monday Night Raw? What are they doing? Do you get that feeling yet? I mean, they're powerful in number and in size, but do you feel like they have Monday Night Raw gripped by the throat yet? No. I'm curious to see when we do get Rollins as the World Heavyweight Champion, because that will be the next phase of this mission. I wonder if when that happens, we finally start to feel that this show is being choked out, that they have this show by the balls. That's going to be a very important detail of this story to get across, to make the viewer at home feel that. I'm not feeling it right now. I'm not. You can line this group up with all the fucking talent in the world, man. The best youthful young talent that the company has to offer, surrounding them with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. I need to feel like the show is being threatened. Don't let me down. WrestleMania happened. 3rd week of April. This group was formed on the following Raw after WrestleMania. I have not felt anything since the ending of that show when we first got Braun Breaker aligned with Seth Rollins. Make me feel like the show is threatened. I'm not feeling that right now. Money in the Bank qualifying matches were great. The opening match was fucking unbelievable. One of the best Money in the Bank qualifying matches that I think we've ever gotten since they started doing qualifying matches. We got Chad Gable, Dragon Lee, and Penta in a triple threat match. That opened the show. And then in the main event, we got Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Finn Bálor. Liv Morgan was back tonight. There's a little shenanigans going on in the Judgment Day Clubhouse, man. All being orchestrated by Finn Bálor. He cannot help himself. He brought Roxanne Perez into the fold, and this little poison chicken nugget is causing problems everywhere with Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. So this one little poison, undercooked chicken nugget is causing a lot of problems within the Judgment Day. Is this being done by design? Is this what Bálor wants? Is this a way to get Dominic and Liv out of the group? I don't know what's going on. It's piquing my interest. We'll see what happens. And then we'll talk about Chad Gable and I see a lot of people complaining about this. Chad Gable and Vikingos happening on June 7th at the Kia Forum for AAA and WWE Worlds Collide. They've already listed it as a AAA Mega Championship match. The AAA Mega Champion, as of right now, because it hasn't aired on their TV yet, is Alberto El Patron. Alberto Del Rio. WWE announced that Vikingo will defend the AAA Mega Championship against Chad Gable. How could one defend the championship when he hasn't officially won it yet? Because it hasn't aired on TV yet. I don't know. Man, they couldn't wait to get rid of Alberto Del Rio. All this and so much more today on Off the Script. Thank you guys very much for all of your supports. I am going to try my best to get through this stream, bro. I'm fucking tired, man. I am tired. Double or Nothing in the post show was worth it, man. If you missed any of the discussion that Jesse and I had last night, it was a fantastic discussion. Some of those clips have already made it to social media, made it to X. I uploaded 2 on X today. I uploaded 1 to Instagram. I uploaded 1 to TikTok. They did incredibly well. I got more content and more clips coming up in the days to come. Some of those clips are going to be uploaded in full to the second channel. Awesome stream last night. We had almost 3,000 people in here. We had another 13,000 views or so live on X in totality. You guys killed it, so thank you very much. Some of the best discussion that we've had, I think, in regards to AEW this year. So if you guys missed that stream, go and check it out. I thought it was a fun show, but it was nothing more than the 3 major matches that they built for the show, and then everything else just kind of felt like I felt about this show tonight. Boring. So go check that out. Saturday night's main event, we were live on Saturday. I did not like the May edition of Saturday night's main event. Littered with commercials, man. It just took me completely out of even caring at that point. So go check that out. Tomorrow night we'll be live. We'll talk about all the nonsense that happened this week with Saturday night's main event, Double or Nothing, Battleground. And we'll talk about Monday Night Raw and all the major news happening in the world of pro wrestling with the Solid Monster tomorrow night. Episode 97 of Tuesday Night Titans. Hopefully by then I am rested, because when you get us going, there's no stopping us, bro. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Everything you need is linked down below. Hit that subscribe button down below. We are very, very close, man. I think we're about 50 subscribers away from 171,000 subscribers. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. We got 2,300 people in here. We got 450 likes. 1,000 likes is the goal minimum. So if you guys want to do that, it helps me out tremendously. It pushes the stream in the YouTube algorithm. It tells YouTube, hey, man, I like this guy's content. Let's show it to more people. So go and do that for me. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. As always, that is the absolute best way to support the show. Get them on in. We'll hang out. Any questions, comments, and concerns at the end of the show via the super chats. And tonight's show is sponsored by Turtle Beach. TurtleBeach.com/script. Use our code SCRIPT at checkout to save 10% off anything on their website, gaming, peripherals, and anything you need via TurtleBeach.com/script. And I want to thank them, as always, for sponsoring the channel again this month right here on OTS. Monday Night Raw. We were live from Tampa Bay, Florida. The WWE had a little bit of a mini residency here this weekend. We had Saturday night's main event. We had NXT Battleground and Monday Night Raw. I think SmackDown was in Tampa too, wasn't it? SmackDown was in Tampa as well. They wanted NXT in Tampa, but the tickets were selling so poorly that they canceled the show, and they'll probably be back at the Performance Center on Tuesday night. What did I tell you, man? The NXT weekly shows are not good. It is a very difficult sell to sell people on. Monday night, though. Very weird crowd tonight, man. They were into some of the show. They were completely out of it with other parts of the show. We start the show off with Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. They come on out to Rollins music, and everybody is singing along to Seth Rollins theme music, as they always do. Heyman introduced Braun Breaker. The first one to talk about here was Braun Breaker. Heyman said Breaker is an attack dog and a true badass in a bloodline of badasses. Oh, SmackDown was in Savannah. They were in Georgia. They were not in Tampa. Close enough. There you go. So they had a mini residency. Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. Tuesday night was supposed to be, but like I said, the NXT show was canceled. Breaker's an attack dog and a true badass in a bloodline of badasses. He said he is a key to the future of this business. He predicted he'll be headlining WrestleManias 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, so on and so forth. How many of those WrestleManias will be in the city of Las Vegas? We don't know. Maybe one of those will be a Saudi main event. Who knows? He went on to say that is not a prediction. That is absolutely a spoiler. And I think we can confirm with Paul Heyman's thought that more than likely that is a spoiler. Then we get a loud CM Punk chant. Heyman said, Punk is not in the building this evening. Thanks to this man over here. And he points to Bronson Reed. Heyman then points to Bronson Reed. He said WWE would never put him in the ring with their top-tier talent because they were afraid of how reckless Bronson Reed really was. He's a violent man in a PG era, and he's going to put everyone down who steps in front of him. He said, therefore, he went after Seth and gave Seth a more severe beating than Roman Reigns ever did. Heyman touted Seth and asked the crowd to acknowledge him. Fans booed and chanted for the OTC, Roman Reigns. Fans then chanted, you sold out, to Seth Rollins. Seth started laughing and asked, who did I sell out to? Myself? Fans then chanted, fuck you, Rollins. McAfee speculated that they were chanting, like you, Rollins, or duck you, Rollins. Like the bird, he said. Seth said they were just singing his song moments ago, and now you're yelling profanities at me. And then they boo him. Little side note, I can't wait for, honestly, I think Pat is all right. I don't hate Pat like some of these fucking bizarre weirdos out there. But in the moment that we got here tonight with Rollins in the crowd just vehemently chanting, fuck you, Rollins, and booing and chanting OTC and chanting for CM Punk, this is where I wish we had Corey Graves back. I can't wait to get Corey Graves back. I think Corey Graves belongs on Monday night. I don't know why they got him on NXT. I'm sure NXT is great. And I'm sure Corey Graves is killing it down there, but I very much want to see Corey Graves back on Monday night. I think there's just a different level. You know, when Michael Cole is there next to Pat McAfee, it's fine. But I do think that Corey Graves genuinely brings out the best in Michael Cole, and it's just all business. There is some, that witty sarcasm from Corey Graves, but I don't really get that from Pat McAfee. He's more like a jokester. He's more like a class clown. So when Pat goes away, which is probably going to be towards the end of the summer, I very much want to see Corey Graves back on Monday Night Raw. Seth said they were just singing a song. Now they're booing him and yelling profanities at him. He said he's the only person capable of carrying this industry forward with championships and wielding the power that comes with those championships. Seth said he found an object that can help him control the narrative and control the championships. He looked up at the briefcases hanging above the ring. He vowed to win Money in the Bank and said nobody can stop him. That is total domination. That is total power. He went on to say how he is a revolutionary, a visionary. His music played, and that was basically the way the segment came to a close. So we got an explanation. We got Rollins and his new mission statement, winning Money in the Bank. And that's all we could ask for. But the explanation, I know some people are already complaining that it's not enough or it's too vague. They should have went into further detail. What more do you really need? What more do you need? Bronson Reed had a star-making moment because he chose Seth Rollins to make that moment with. It wasn't personal. It wasn't. It was more so because some of you guys just forget history, man. You got revisionist history. You don't want to remember what happened. You want to think about what you think happened. Meanwhile, you don't really look and see what exactly happened. Bronson Reed's problem during that period of time on Monday night was not with Rollins. It was about Adam Pearce not giving him the opportunity that he wanted. He didn't do it. He kept him off TV. He kept him out of matches because of his attitude. He chose Rollins. He chose to defy Adam Pearce. And then he did what he did to make a statement to management. Rollins had nothing to do with it. Rollins was just the guy who was there, wrong time, wrong place for Seth Rollins. He was chosen. Bronson Reed didn't do anything to Rollins because he wanted. He had to do it to make a statement to prove a point to Adam Pearce. Rollins made it personal because what are you going to do if you're Seth Rollins in that situation? You're just going to say, all right, Reed, you got me. I'm going to go on and do this other thing, man. Good on you, man. I don't mind helping you out. No, Rollins was going to be seeking blood, and he made it personal. You're not going to do that to me and then get away with it. Rollins made it personal. And then all that time passes. He gets into War Games. Rollins was asked to be in War Games, and he chose not to. He said no. Then you get the narrative that I told you about with Bronson Reed and CM Punk, and Punk pulling Reigns off the table, and Bronson Reed going through the table and breaking his foot. Out for 6 months. Now he's back. Now he's aligned himself with Seth Rollins, the guy who did not want to be a part of the Bloodline War Games, and the guy who hates Roman Reigns and CM Punk vehemently, two guys that were in that moment, in that situation where Bronson Reed broke his foot. What more of an explanation do you need? If you can't figure it out, if you're looking for a way to complain that it wasn't enough for you, or if WWE doesn't tie up loose ends, is there storytelling lacking right now? Absolutely. But don't disrespect Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, who are two of the best storytellers in the company. Don't disrespect Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and think that when you get them on TV, they aren't going to explain what you need to hear. I'm sorry, bro. This isn't Wednesday Night Dynamite where things happen and then are just never explained again, or they try and explain it and they never go back to it. I'm still waiting on an explanation to why the Death Riders and the Young Bucks somehow are a pairing. Never got an explanation after the Young Bucks said, and I quote, "We did it for the Hangman." Did you? What happened to the dialogue? Zero. This isn't Wednesday night, sir. Get to the back of the line. Everything here makes sense. If you find somebody that is foolishly trying to say it doesn't make sense or trolling online, aggregating some bullshit online just to get clicks and views and make just enough barely to buy a fucking slushie from 7-Eleven with Elon's money, tell them exactly what they need to hear. You're a fucking idiot. Shut the fuck up. I guarantee you never watched Monday Night Raw since WrestleMania, or maybe ever. Stop talking about it because you don't know a fucking thing and you're a clueless fuck. I just gave you the breakdown about why Bronson Reed makes all the sense in the world with explanation times 2. He even went back and explained why Bronson Reed did what he did to Seth Rollins, which was not Seth Rollins' fault. It was all Adam Pearce's fault. So the more you try to tell me, oh, it doesn't make sense. Oh, it's this, it's that, all this nonsense. Are you ever going to doubt Paul Heyman on anything? Why would you doubt the wise man? The segment did exactly what it needed to do. Explanation on Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins' new mission, Money in the Bank, so that he can control the narrative. Cash in whenever he wants, sneak a cash in, and basically do what he did back when he won it the first time he cashed in. Money in the Bank qualifying match. Chad Gable, Penta, and Dragon Lee. Out of all the Money in the Bank qualifying matches that we got on television so far this season, there has been none better than the one we saw here. This was fucking great. And it only got better the longer the match went on. It did get a little scary, though. It did get a little scary. Chad Gable got dropped on his head, and it did not look good, bro. I hope he's all right. I hope that there's no long-term damage there. I hope that he's resting easy tonight. There was a spot in this match where I was like, oh, my God. They dropped him right on his fucking head. There was also a spot with Dragon Lee that's... I mean, some of the shit that these guys do, man. I know it's for our entertainment, but holy shit. That's all I could say. Penta tried some moves that would simultaneously drop Dragon Lee backwards with a gory bomb and drop Gable forwards with a facebuster, but Gable ended up landing right on his head. It was ridiculous. Imagine a gory bomb by Penta, and you got Dragon Lee, who's hanging backwards off of Penta's back. And then we get Gable hanging upside down with Penta in front of Penta. And he's trying to do these things at the same time. I mean, it's physically not even possible. I don't know what happened. There was a miscommunication of sorts. Chad Gable didn't fall forward. He fell straight down. He landed right on his head. And I mean, it looked bad. Referee immediately went over to Chad Gable. Thank God everything was all right. So we go to a commercial break. After the break, there was a spot with Dragon Lee flying out of nowhere over the announce desk. Suicide dive on Gable. Gable dodged it. Penta was on the outside. He got absolutely sniped by Dragon Lee, to a point where he flew over the announce desk, and Dragon Lee, it looked like from my vantage point, completely missed the fucking commentary table and just landed on the floor on top of Penta. I mean, this guy looked like he got sniped from halfway across the fucking map playing Warzone. That's how quick it all happened. Ridiculous. Referee went to go check on them. Gable went on the outside to go pick up the pieces. And at the same time, Vikingo, the now new AAA mega champion, if you don't know, Gable attacked him because he's sitting front row. He was there at Saturday night's main event as well. Gable attacked Vikingo with a cheap shot, and all three guys in the match get back in the ring. They trade moves. Dragon Lee hits a Poison Rana on Penta, which looked great. Gable hit both men with a double German suplex. Penta with the moonsault. He goes for cover on Penta. He gets a 2 count. Gable gave Dragon Lee an overhead suplex into the turnbuckle. Set up for another moonsault. Vikingo jumps the barricade. Gable's on the top rope. Vikingo gets up to the apron. Delivers a step-up kick to Gable that looks like it busted him open. Dragon Lee gave Gable a double foot stomp down from the top rope. Penta gave Dragon Lee a Canadian Destroyer. Penta followed with the Penta driver on Chad Gable for the 1, 2, 3. This was fucking great. 10 minutes. This was high energy. Seemingly felt like they let them go out there and do whatever the fuck that they usually do, man. With no handcuffs, no limitations. This was awesome. For 10 minutes and only 1 commercial break, this was fucking awesome. Vikingo and Gable built for the AAA WWE show, Worlds Collide. I think this was probably one of the best Money in the Bank qualifying matches that we got in a very, very long time. And it may be one of the best Money in the Bank qualifying matches maybe ever. So I thought this was awesome. WWE threw up a graphic during this show where Vikingo and Chad Gable are wrestling at Worlds Collide, the AAA show, in conjunction with WWE on June 7th at the Kia Forum at 3 p.m. Apparently, in the graphic, it said that this match will be contested for the AAA Mega Championship. Now, Vikingo, as of right now, is not the AAA Mega Champion. That goes to Alberto Del Rio, a.k.a. Alberto Del Patron. He's still the AAA Mega Champion. I believe they have a television taping on Friday where they do wrestle, and Del Rio will be defending the championship against Vikingo. And on that TV taping, Vikingo wins the AAA Mega Championship and takes it from Del Rio. WWE leaked that Vikingo is the new champion when it hadn't aired yet, and labeled this match with Gable a AAA Mega Championship match, basically their world championship. Man, they couldn't wait to get rid of Alberto Del Rio, man. They could not wait to get that championship off of him. There you go. I see some people on social media, the Lucha Libre journalists and websites and social media accounts, claiming that they never had to go through something like this. Why would WWE do this? Blah, blah, blah. You know, for the most part, I can understand why they are frustrated, because they never had to deal with anything like this. They never had to deal with another promotion ruining the results of their own championship match. But it's 2 things. Number 1, WWE could not wait to get rid of Del Rio. And number 2, you know, how many people really... I mean, me, when I listened to the graphic or was watching the show and seen the graphic, I didn't even see it live. I wasn't even paying attention. I wasn't even honed in on that. I'm like, all right, AAA Mega Championship. Like, oh, okay. It is what it is. I just thought it was whatever. I thought he was the champion already. Then I come to find out that the TV taping hadn't even happened yet. But then I go scroll social media and I find out that he isn't the AAA Mega Champion. People are upset about this. Who cares? It's literally nothing to get upset about. This is the way WWE is going to operate. They now own 51% of AAA. Play by their rules now. I'm sorry for the people that had to watch Del Rio and however long his championship reign was. Those are the people I feel sorry for. All the people complaining that you needed and had to watch and sit through a Del Rio world title reign. Imagine that there are people out there justifying that he is the champion. Yet you want me to sit here and feel for, oh my God, WWE leak the results, man. I don't care. Neither should you. Roxanne Perez. She was backstage with the Judgment Day and handed Dominic Mysterio a big platter of chicken nuggets. No dipping sauce. I'm genuinely starting to get concerned that Roxanne Perez eats her chicken nuggets without a proper dipping sauce. Who eats these dry nuggets and enjoys them? All of a sudden, Roxanne said that Dominic needed a massage on his shoulder. So she starts massaging Dominic's shoulder. Most of the virgins in the IWC are melting down, wishing that they were in Dominic Mysterio's shoes, with Roxanne Perez and her hands all over Dominic Mysterio. All of a sudden, Liv Morgan walks in. Liv Morgan returns from Japan, and she is back in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Obviously, with Roxanne Perez touching Dominic Mysterio, this was not a good situation for Dirty Dom. Dominic tried to explain why she hadn't really heard from him. She cut him off. Bálor in the background is giggling like a little schoolgirl because he's all excited about all this drama in the Judgment Day. Liv and Roxanne, Liv and Dom, Roxanne and Dom. She said, don't worry, Raquel Rodriguez has been keeping me updated on everything that's been happening in the Judgment Day when I was gone. And I'm off to go talk to Adam Pearce about getting a Money in the Bank qualifier. Bálor was very, very amused by all of this happening within the Judgment Day. Bálor seems to have added the poison to the group, and he's just watching it spread slowly but surely. Roxanne Perez and this poison is going to eliminate the people that he doesn't want in the group, Dom and Liv. But I do think at the end, Liv is going to outsmart Finn Bálor. She may end up with Roxanne. She may end up with Roxanne and Raquel in the Judgment Day, and out is Finn Bálor and Dom, for all we know. I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but they have a little bit of my interest now that Roxanne Perez has been hanging around the Judgment Day. A little bit. Before Roxanne was there, I was struggling to care. Just do it already. Just break them up. Move them on. But now that Roxanne is added, I'm a little more intrigued than I was 2 weeks ago. Rusev. He went one-on-one with Akira Tozawa. I expected this to be a little bit more of a competitive match. I'm not talking like 10 minutes competitive. If this was AEW Dynamite, Tony Khan would have let this one go 18 minutes with kickouts of every fucking signature and finishing move that both guys had. Rusev and Akira Tozawa, I expected it to be like Tozawa and Gunther a couple of, how long ago was that? A few weeks ago, WrestleMania season. I believe they wrestled. I expected it to be something closer to that. That even went 3 minutes. He got a couple of hope spots, and that was it. He fell to the mighty Gunther. This didn't even last 60 seconds. This was an accolade. He is going night-night. Goodbye. Rusev wins over Tozawa. This was nothing. One of the things that I said I was looking forward to see is Rusev and how they move him on from whatever the fuck this is to his first major program with Sheamus. Sheamus ends up beating A-Town Clown Under, and now he's in a feud with Rusev, because that's exactly what happened. Rusev had the accolade on Tozawa. He wouldn't let go until Sheamus ran out. He didn't really run out. He walked out. His music hit. Rusev let go of the hold. He waited for Sheamus to get in the ring. Sheamus is in the ring, and they have a face-off until Rusev left the ring. They said words off microphone, couldn't really pick it up on screen, and Rusev left the ring as he backed down from Sheamus. McAfee referenced Jim Ross by saying that this match would be a potential slobber knocker. They didn't mention Jim Ross by name. McAfee did not mention Jim Ross, but mentioned slobber knocker as a ode to Jim Ross. And Michael Cole did not mention Jim Ross at all, who is going into surgery for colon cancer tomorrow. Wish Jim Ross nothing but the best and a speedy, speedy recovery. Who he's already said, I can't wait to get back to work. As soon as I get out, I'm going right back to my podcast, and I'd like to be at AEW All in Texas and commentary for the main event. Jim Ross has goals. Jim Ross will get those goals because Jim Ross is going to beat cancer because fuck cancer. Should WWE be concerned? Are you guys concerned about the lack of reaction for Rusev? Legitimately, no reaction. Sheamus got a reaction. I'm hoping this feud gets the proper reaction. Sheamus has nothing but bangers. So Rusev is going to get the reactions because he's in there with Sheamus. But Rusev on his own, man, I haven't heard that overwhelming, I'm excited that this guy is back in WWE type of reaction, man. It's almost as if the fans don't even care. I don't know. 1 minute, Rusev beats Tozawa. Sami Zayn, he met with Jey Uso backstage. Zayn was tired of hearing all the talk from Rollins and company. Zayn regretted not going out to the ring to confront them earlier in the night. Jey told him that wouldn't have been a good idea, Us. Jey advised him to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and if there was any trouble tonight, Jey Uso had his back. Was it? That was it. Jey Uso back on Monday Night Raw after wrestling Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event, mixing it up with 2 SmackDown guys. If there's anything to be upset about, it's why that random tag team match just came together on Saturday night and they rushed to making that match for Money in the Bank. Not a single explanation about why Jey Uso. I understand the connection between Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes as they were former tag team champions. But the connection between Jey Uso and John Cena, Jey Uso and Logan Paul, there really isn't anything there outside of they needed a main event for Saturday night's main event. What's the connection between Logan Paul and John Cena? I got my theories. Just a random tag team match. A tag team match that reportedly was supposed to be Travis Scott rumored for the role. I guess we shouldn't really complain all too much because I'd much rather see Logan Paul teaming with John Cena than Travis Scott teaming with John Cena. We'll get to it, though. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Triple threat. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I looked down at my notes. I seen WWE Tag Team title match, New Day. Sorry, man. I snap out of it, bro. Every time I mention the tag team division on this show. Absolute snooze fest. Triple threat tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships. This is the New Day defending against the War Raiders, Julius and Brutus Creed, the Creed brothers of American Made. Is anybody excited yet? No? Okay, me neither. War Raiders cleared the ring of both teams before the bell. The referee yelled at everybody to get to their appropriate corner. Eric threw Ivar off the ring apron onto both teams down below on the outside. Finally get the bell. Eric, Kofi, and Brutus were in the ring. The Creeds and the New Day worked together to beat up the War Raiders at ringside. So the story here from Michael Cole was that the New Day and the Creeds were working together because them working together to eliminate the War Raiders was better than them going at each other. So basically, in oh so many words, is Michael Cole explaining to us why the Creeds are two fucking idiots. Teaming and working together with the tag team champions when they should really be focusing on beating the tag team championships. Not working in tandem, not working in unity, to take out the other two guys in the War Raiders. Okay, great. They work together to beat up the War Raiders at ringside. We go into a commercial break. We come back from the break. The New Day were in control of Eric. The Creeds were watching on. Xavier strutted. Xavier thinks he's Mr. Cool out there. Leaping double stomp to the back of Eric, who was leaning over the top rope. Ivar tagged in. He started making a babyface comeback for his War Raiders team. He back body dropped Kofi, who charged in over the top rope onto everybody on the outside. Kofi landed on his feet. He played up to the crowd a little bit as if he was going to dive onto everybody. He climbed up to the top rope. Kofi kicked him off the top rope. Brutus superplexed Eric a minute later. Xavier landed a top rope elbow onto Eric. Ivar then landed a very nice looking top rope frog splash. The Creeds and Kofi broke up the cover. Ivar gave the Creeds a handspring back elbow and then a spinning heel kick to Xavier. Eric and Ivar set up for their double team finish. The War Machine on Xavier. Brutus broken up and then did a springboard Brutus ball to Eric on the outside. Kofi leapt through the ropes, but Ivar caught him and splashed him against the LED apron. They did the special LED effect where someone gets slammed on it and it kind of fizzes out. And then he slammed himself against Kofi and it fizzled out even more. Julius charged at Ivar as he climbed the ropes. Xavier then rolled up Julius, and while he rolled him up, he yanked the tights for a leveraged 1, 2, 3, and the New Day win in 9 minutes. This triple threat match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. So, the New Day retain, and the Creeds, they look like two dummies out there, man. Can we get this tag team division on par with the SmackDown? It's amazing, man, how the SmackDown tag team division, by leaps and bounds, has overtaken the Monday Night Raw tag team division to a point where nothing on the Raw tag team side is even remotely interesting. Again, the lack of reaction for the War Raiders, the New Day, and the Creeds. It was troublesome to hear the lack of reaction for the first 5 or 6 minutes of this. And then things started to pick up, and the War Raiders started to get in there and move around and do their thing. None of these teams are over. If the audience doesn't care, how am I supposed to care? When there's no reaction from the live audience, there's no reaction and no feeling and no emotion from the viewer. It's a very, very, very difficult watch. Something needs to be done, and the tag team division on Monday night needs a fix. I mean, whatever is ASAP, quicker. Backstage, Liv and Raquel cross paths with Io and Kyrie. Sane. Liv made fun of Kyrie coming up short in her Money in the Bank qualifier. You know, the one Rhea Ripley won. Io told Liv to move on. Liv said, I am. I'm moving on to Adam Pearce's office, and I'm going to try and get myself a Money in the Bank qualifier. And when I win the qualifier, I'm going to win Money in the Bank. And when I win Money in the Bank, I'm coming after your championship. Kyrie then poked Liv in the forehead and challenged her to a match tonight. Great. It's exactly what I want to see after a very mid Kyrie Sane performance last week. I get to relish in yet another mid performance by the Pirate Princess. Jey Uso. He came out, he yeeted. Thank God he didn't do 2 yeets. He only did 1 yeet tonight. One theme song. That's it. He's in the ring. He began talking about what a busy week he's been having. Gee, that's what the world champion does, man. Busy weeks. He said both Cena and Logan were yeeted. Were they? As soon as he said that, Gunther's music played and Gunther came out. Gunther entered the ring, and he was a very sarcastic Gunther tonight. He congratulated Jey Uso on holding the belt longer than he even expected. Gunther could see that Jey wanted to be the captain of the Monday Night Raw ship. There was a lot going on, and when Jey's friends needed him, he was there, no questions asked. Those are great qualities for a human being, but terrible qualities for a champion. Where's the lie? Tell me when Gunther is telling lies, folks. Gunther said he was the champion for almost a year because the only person he cared about was himself. Which raises the question, where has Ludwig Kaiser gone? Is he now the latest to end up on the back of a milk carton somewhere? I don't know. Where is Ludwig Kaiser? Gunther didn't think Jey had the intellect to understand how to carry himself as a great champion. When they wrestled in 2 weeks, Gunther would make things right. He would relieve Jey of his world championship position at the top of Monday Night Raw, choke him out, and put the title back around his waist where it belongs. Jey said he was done with people saying his days as champion were numbered. Jey had friends and family. He fought for them, and they fought for him. Jey was fighting for more than what Gunther was fighting for. Jey fought for fan support, and he would make Gunther tap out again in Phoenix. I don't know what happened to Jey Uso here. I don't know if he was out of breath, if he was flustered, nervous, or if he genuinely forgot his promo and what he was supposed to say out there. This was as basic of a promo as I think I've ever heard from anybody in 2025. Did it get me excited about Jey Uso and Gunther for a fifth time? No. I was hoping we weren't getting this match again, period. I don't know why anybody's going to care about Jey Uso Gunther for match number 5 in 2 weeks. I know I'm not. How does this play into whatever's coming next? Will there be a Money in the Bank cash-in? Is Rollins going to win the world championship from Jey Uso in that match? Or whomever the champion is. I mean, it could be LA Knight. We don't know. Who's going to win the briefcase? Are they cashing in on June 9th in that match? Because Gunther can't afford a loss. Gunther ain't losing. That's the one thing I know for sure ain't happening. Beating Gunther again? Well, right before his match with Bill Goldberg at Saturday Night's Main Event on July 12th? No. No, we're not doing that. More than likely, they are setting up for a cash-in. That is why that match is taking place. That's the only thing I could possibly think of. Who? I don't know. I don't know. Jey Uso is a busy man. Jey Uso had Logan Paul at Saturday Night's Main Event. He's got Gunther in this promo here tonight. He's got Gunther on June 9th. He's got Seth Rollins breathing down his neck. He's busy backing up Sami Zayn and CM Punk to battle Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. The guy is very, very, very busy. Very busy. I don't know who wrote this segment. I don't know why they left out and excluded things that happened on Saturday night. I would have appreciated as a viewer maybe giving us a little detail, a little intel onto what happened or into what happened with Logan Paul and John Cena coming out of Saturday Night's Main Event. What your thoughts are with Cody Rhodes making a tag team match for Money in the Bank, where it will be Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes against John Cena and Logan Paul. Not one drop of an explanation as to why this tag team match is happening. Outside of Cody wants John Cena, Cody wants revenge for what happened at WrestleMania, losing the WWE Championship. But yet we have Jey Uso and Logan Paul in this match. Now, I understand Cody and Jey Uso's relationship as they were WWE Tag Team Champions, and Cody Rhodes was the guy who got Jey Uso over to Monday Night Raw. He helped get Jey Uso over to Monday Night Raw. So there is a relationship there. There is a bond there. I get it. But what do they collectively have to do with John Cena? Nothing. WWE wants you to believe that Jey Uso and John Cena have some sort of tension. The only thing I could possibly think of in this year alone, because this is the year that Cena turned heel, the only thing I could think of is Jey Uso eliminating John Cena from the Royal Rumble and winning the Royal Rumble by doing so. That's not enough for what happened that Saturday night's main event for Cena to go and care about Jey Uso. John Cena's the WWE champion. He beat Cody Rhodes. He won the Elimination Chamber. Why the fuck is he bothering Jey Uso? And why is he getting into Jey Uso's business? Doesn't make sense. That is the most lowbrow, childish, amateurish, creative. Oh, but you eliminated me from the Royal Rumble. I'm standing here winning the WrestleMania main event, but I'm worried about you eliminating me from the Royal Rumble. Bro, it doesn't work that way. Awful. No matter how you cut it, it's awful. So I get the relationship with Jey and Cody. I don't get the relationship between Cena and Jey Uso. It's not there. It's non-existent. Cody and Cena is self-explanatory. Cody's back for revenge over what happened at WrestleMania with Travis Scott and John Cena. He wants the WWE title back. Self-explanatory. Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes, they had a match, a very good one, in Saudi Arabia. There wasn't much there. The dialogue was there. Cody wanted to teach Logan Paul a lesson because Logan Paul was too cocky, thinking that he was better than most of the roster. He was getting ahead of himself. And Cody used that match to humble Logan Paul. Doesn't really play into what's going on here. Logan Paul and Jey Uso, not much of a story there, bro. Not much of a story. Just a match randomly made that was supposed to take place at Backlash on PLE, but they saved it for Saturday night's main event because they needed a big match. Not really a story there. There is none. And then you got Logan Paul and John Cena. The only thing I could possibly come up with is John Cena and Logan Paul together. Logan Paul is the guy, the type of guy that John Cena can use to kill professional wrestling. It's the only thing I could think of. Logan Paul, a YouTuber. Logan Paul, not really someone who is a full-time professional wrestler, using Logan Paul to kill professional wrestling. I would have loved some sort of explanation as to why this match was happening. Just randomly came together. Maybe we'll get that on Friday night from John Cena or Cody Rhodes. Maybe. Logan Paul was not on the show tonight. He's a Raw superstar. Jey Uso didn't explain anything. We have two SmackDown guys in Cody and John Cena and two Raw guys in Logan Paul and Jey Uso teaming up together. It is Raw and SmackDown teaming up against Raw and SmackDown. But even though it doesn't make much sense, I much rather see this than Travis Scott and John Cena against Cody Rhodes and whomever. Now, the rumor was that it could end up being Travis Scott, Logan Paul, and John Cena against Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. Remember, we got 2 weeks till Money in the Bank. We could still very well see that materialize, because the rumor is Travis Scott will be at Money in the Bank, and Travis Scott has been training with Booker T at his Reality of Wrestling school. But none of this really makes much sense, and it just feels very haphazardly thrown together, and I just want some sort of explanation. That's all. Like, I get Jey Uso is dipping his hand into multiple cookie jars here. Rollins and Breaker and Heyman and Reed. And then he's got Gunther, Logan Paul. Now he's got John Cena. I mean, you're pulling the guy at so many ends. He's got this thing to worry about. Now he's in this thing. How is this thing with John Cena and Cody Rhodes going to factor into Money in the Bank? How is it going to factor into his World Championship run and Gunther and Seth Rollins? Is it going to, are we in the beginning phases of taking the belt off Jey Uso? Is this going to be too much for him? We got no explanation. No explanation. I'm doing my best out here, folks. Doing my best. Liv Morgan. She went one-on-one with Kyrie Sane. This went 10 minutes. It's good to see Liv Morgan back. I've grown to really like Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is a pleasure to see on my television. We got both ladies battling on the apron here, hitting a sunset flip power bomb by Morgan outside on the floor, by the way. Kyrie Sane fights back after we get back from a commercial break. She hits a very weak-looking spear. Kyrie continued on offense, hits a flying forearm off the top rope for a 2 count on Liv. Morgan followed with a flying code breaker. She goes for her own cover, gets a 2 count. Then we get both ladies shredding a couple of moves here. It's very sloppy, very out of place, very clumsy. Cradle for 2. Rodriguez ends up distracting the referee. Perez appeared out of nowhere, Roxanne Perez, that is, and knocked Kyrie off the top rope as she was going for her insane elbow. Raquel Rodriguez sees Roxanne Perez helping Liv Morgan win the match, and she comes over to get in Roxanne Perez's face. Raquel was upset that Perez was out there. She asks Roxanne what she's doing out here, and she says, I'm trying to help Liv win the match. The referee looked around, dumb, to see both of these ladies on the outside arguing. Kyrie Sane was suddenly down, and he didn't even question, or they didn't even question, why she fell off the top rope. Liv was still down. Why was Kyrie all of a sudden on the floor when you looked at her just moments ago before Raquel interfered and you saw her on the top rope? Referee did not question anything that happened here. So the referee looks like an idiot. Morgan looked over as Rodriguez argued with Perez. Morgan went for oblivion. Kyrie Sane counted into a schoolboy, and she gets the 1, 2, 3. This was not good, folks. Second week in a row where Kyrie looked awful. You know, they call her the Pirate Princess. She comes out to some generic Jack Sparrow theme. I mean, it is just, her theme music is fucking, could you be any more stereotypical and any more cringe with her theme music? Kyrie, I don't know, man. They call her the Pirate Princess. It's almost as if pirates have raided Kyrie and walked off with her wrestling ability. Like they went hunting for wrestling ability and they found the buried treasure, matey. Arr! And they walked off with Kyrie's wrestling ability. What happened? She looks awful out there. I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is not the same Kyrie Sane I remember. She looks bad. Kyrie should not be having this level of match, man. I mean, we got Nia Jax delivering better matches than Kyrie Sane. On what fucking planet are we living on, bro? Kyrie wins, but at what cost? She looked fucking awful. And Liv, more than likely, she'll get into Money in the Bank. Judgment Day was backstage. Rodriguez said Morgan would have won if it wasn't for Roxanne Perez. Morgan was actually not upset at Roxanne. She was upset with Raquel. Liv said Rodriguez should have been the veteran out there And she would have, or she should have known better. I can't really blame Liv for saying and feeling how she feels and saying what she says. Raquel walked over. She poked her nose in Roxanne's business when Roxanne was only trying to help. Meanwhile, she caused the distraction by arguing with Roxanne, who tried to help Liv win. And if she didn't go over to Roxanne, Liv would have won. Morgan stormed off. Bálor, again, giddy, happy, smiling, giggly. He loves this tension. The tension is now away from him and Dom. It's now on Liv and Roxanne, Liv and Raquel, Dominic and Liv, Dominic and Raquel. I mean, he's trying to cause a problem with everybody else in the group that had a problem with him, and he had a problem with them. I don't know if this is going to work to Bálor and work in his favor, or if they're going to be too wise. The ladies might be a little bit too smart for Balor's trickery and shenanigans. We'll see. Lyra Valkyria. Bird Lady. Segment here with Becky Lynch. Lyra's got a microphone. She said she looked forward to facing someone new for the Intercontinental title. But Becky Lynch groveled and begged until she convinced those in the back to get a title rematch at Money in the Bank. And it is now official, folks. Lyra and Becky, part 2 for the Intercontinental Championship in Los Angeles at Money in the Bank. The first match was great. Backlash match was great. Hopefully they can produce an even better one in 2 weeks. Lyra wouldn't say no because she's already beaten her twice. Lyra has never cared in the past what her opponents said about her because once she beats them in the ring, she was the ultimate winner. However, she felt no satisfaction beating Becky Lynch at Backlash. Lynch's ego is still through the roof despite being out-wrestled and beaten. Lynch talked about how she won the title because now she's out there. How she won the match. Now she's trying to steal an opportunity from the next person. Lynch made it personal by getting in her fiance's face and trying to break her arm. Lyra would bash Lynch's head in if she had to. Becky Lynch interrupted. She said Lyra was the one who made it personal by costing her the opportunity to qualify for Money in the Bank. Lyra might have won their match, but Becky Lynch won the night. Becky Lynch went home to her hot husband while Lyra went to the hospital with her weird fiancé. Lyra said Lynch's husband was the only talented one in the family and the only talent she has about her. This was meant to get a, oh man, I don't believe she went there. Did not get the type of reaction that WWE or Lyra or Becky were hoping for here. Becky said Lyra was making it personal again by mentioning Seth Rollins. Becky Lynch was the best thing to happen to Lyra and the IC title. Lyra said the reason people were talking about her was because she beat Becky Lynch. Lynch had an offer. If Lyra beats her at Money in the Bank, she would never challenge her again for the Intercontinental Championship. Lyra was fine with that because she's beaten her twice already and did it with her eyes closed. Becky Lynch said she graciously raised Lyra's hand in NXT following their match after Lyra won. Becky wanted Lyra to return the favor at Money in the Bank when Becky Lynch beat her. Lyra accepted because she had no trouble raising the hand of a winner. It's just never been Becky Lynch. I did not like this as much as their other segments. I felt like they definitely tried a little too hard here. This definitely felt forced. The writing here was not good. The last couple of times they had a face-to-face promo, I praised Lyra, and I started to praise Becky Lynch for the things that she was saying. And then the match ended up being really fucking good at Backlash. This, I just felt like this felt forced. her fiance, her bizarre weirdo fiance, Becky's hot husband. I mean, how do you look at this written on a paper, asked to memorize this, and say, yeah, man, this is what's going to get the crowd going, man. This is what's going to get the crowd excited about this. Shit sucks. This shit sucks. And then on top of that, you add a very predictable fucking stipulation. If Becky Lynch doesn't win the Intercontinental Championship, then she will never challenge Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship as long as she's the champion. Gee, man, I wonder who's going to win that fucking match. And then to go a step further, she said, I want Lyra to raise my hand when I win. Lyra says, I got no problem raising the hand of a winner. Becky's going to cheat to win, and then Becky's going to win the IC title, and Lyra's not going to raise her hand because Becky cheated to win. Some of these people, man, some of these companies, that they don't get it. Not only is your show boring, but now you're making it predictably boring? Now, granted, Lyra could still win, but what does that do for Becky Lynch? Where does that take Becky Lynch? If Becky Lynch is not challenging for the Intercontinental Championship, what the fuck is she doing? Because I'm sure it's going to create engaging discussion when she goes after Io's title. Bayley could cost Becky? Bayley could cost Becky. Yeah. We haven't seen Bayley. I don't know what their plans for Bayley are. I don't know. I thought this was forced. I did not think this was better than the last two segments that they had face-to-face on the microphone. Karrion Kross. He approached Sami Zayn as he was on his way to the ring for his Money in the Bank qualifier. He did not like that Sami was trying to earn a title match the right way. Zayn brushed him off, said he has no time for his theories and his mind games. Before Zayn could leave, Kross said to him, you know you're never going to win the world title, right? Zayn says he would deal with Kross later. Boy, they're really setting it up, man, months in advance. You know you're not going to win the world title, right? Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins is my early prediction for night one main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Can we, by the way, sidetrack here, get Karrion Kross in a Money in the Bank qualifying match next week? Maybe. Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Finn Bálor. This went almost 20 minutes. It's nice to see something get 20 fucking minutes on this show, especially the main event. So we'll pick it up at the end of the first commercial break here. This was a great match. Bálor was in control. Zayn, he starts turning it up here. He wiped both Bálor and Rollins out with a springboard-inspired Sabu moonsault. You know, the typical moonsault he usually does as he bounces off the top rope to the outside. He pointed the finger in the air. Pat McAfee says it was a Sabu homage. Zayn hits Bálor with a superplex. Rollins followed with a frog splash on Zayn. We go into a second commercial break in less than 10 minutes. But that was it. Rollins and Bálor, they seemingly for a little bit teamed up together to work on Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn tried his best to fight them both off. Zayn threw Rollins out of the ring and went for an exploder on Bálor. Bálor countered into a roll-up for two. Rollins hit Bálor with a pedigree. Zayn caught Rollins in a crucifix for a 2 count. Rollins gave Zayn a pedigree for 2. Zayn and Rollins traded reversals until Zayn hits a Blue Thunder Bomb. One of the prettiest moves is Sami's Blue Thunder Bomb near fall. Rollins was getting more and more frustrated. He began slapping Sami Zayn in the corner. Zayn gave him an exploder in the corner. Bálor cut off Zayn with a sling blade. Bálor dropkicked both guys into the corner, and he went for the coup de grace. But they both dodged it. Rollins stomped Bálor. Zayn hits Rollins with a haluva kick. Zayn had this match won. Braun Breaker emerges and pulls him out of the ring to break up the cover. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are out there. They both double team Sami Zayn on the outside until Jey Uso comes on out of nowhere and wipes out Bronson Reed with a dive off the barricade. Jey handed out a bunch of super kicks, but after Rollins grabbed Jey, Braun Breaker ended up spearing Jey Uso on the outside. Reed also crushed Sami Zayn against the steel ring post. Dominic of the Judgment Day ran out. He comes from the crowd and he slid a steel chair into the ring for Bálor to use on Seth Rollins. The thing is, Dominic Mysterio slid the steel chair in the absolute worst position possible because as Bálor went to go reach for the steel chair to use it on Rollins, Rollins was already up and delivered a stomp to Bálor on the steel chair, and that was it. 1, 2, 3, and Seth Rollins advances to Money in the Bank. I'm not sure why Dominic tried to sneak a steel chair into the match when the match is a no DQ match. He could have just hit Rollins on his own. He didn't do that. He could have used the chair on his own to hit Rollins to help Bálor, but he didn't do that. Was it a lapse of judgment? Was it something that he purposefully did? Because he knows exactly what Bálor is doing. I don't know. Is this payback to Finn Bálor for the little mind games and the little tension that he's causing within the Judgment Day? Nobody knows. But from our vantage point, until we get some sort of explanation, Dominic looks fucking stupid. And WWE Creative looks fucking stupid because why wouldn't Dominic just hit Seth Rollins on his own to help his guy win? Bálor wins, takes advantage of the miscue by Dom, stomp on the chair. Rollins is going to Money in the Bank. After the match, Rollins called for Reed and Braun to basically maim Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. CM Punk, who we told was not in the building tonight, his music played. They all looked in the aisleway. Punk slipped into the ring from the back, laid out Rollins with a GTS. He quickly bailed into the crowd. He posed in the crowd, and the show went off the air. Even Punk looks like a dummy. If he didn't want Rollins to go to Money in the Bank, why didn't he just show up during the match and help one of the other guys win the match, help Zayn win the match, so Rollins wouldn't win it? Or am I losing my mind? Am I smarter than the people that booked this show? Should I not call this shit out? Should I just accept it? Hey, man, I'm happy to see CM Punk. Hey, man, I'm happy to see Rollins go to Money in the Bank. Ha, ha, ha. Should I be that guy? Should I be that guy that's singing along to CM Punk's theme, Cult of Personality? Why didn't Punk show up during the match to help Sami Zayn win when there's no DQ? I don't know. So Seth Rollins is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Is Rollins going to win the Money in the Bank? This is going to be a discussion for the ages on social media. You're going to have people claiming LA Knight should win Money in the Bank. You're going to have people claiming Rollins is going to win Money in the Bank, needs to win Money in the Bank. CM Punk is not booked in a match yet. If Punk is not booked in a match for Money in the Bank, for all we know, Punk could have a qualifying match next week. We don't know. If Punk is not going to be in Money in the Bank, CM Punk is going to royally fuck Seth Rollins out of an opportunity at winning Money in the Bank. Just like he did with Drew McIntyre last year. We're basically repeating, history is repeating itself. It's going to happen. And then we'll probably get Seth Rollins and whoever the champion is. I think Seth Rollins ends up winning it just by what we're getting on June 9th, he cashes in on Jey Uso and becomes the world champion? That's what I think. I don't know. CM Punk is going to have a very difficult time stopping Seth Rollins from winning Money in the Bank when you got fucking Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker out there like the savages that they are. It's going to be tough. This is not Drew McIntyre operating on his own, you know? It's going to be a very interesting discussion when we get all of the field of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match participants out there. Who's going to win Money in the Bank so far, folks? LA Knight or Seth Rollins? I'm sticking to Seth Rollins. Monday Night Raw, folks. You know, a lot of what happened in the middle of the show, absolutely complete fucking boredom. The open of the show was very good. Explanation we got with Bronson Reed joining Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. They gave you the explanation. Seth Rollins made his mission statement very known. We have a direction. We have a mission statement. We have a goal. We got an explanation. That's all you can ask for. Opening match, great stuff. Should have went longer, but it was great stuff. And then the ending. Very good match. They went 20 minutes. Really enjoyed it. Tonight was two of the best qualifying matches that we got so far this season for Money in the Bank. Everything else in the middle, completely a waste of time. If you missed the middle of the show, you didn't miss anything. Even Jey Uso's promo did not go over why this tag team match with Cody, Cena, and Logan Paul is even happening at Money in the Bank. Not one drop of an explanation. Anyway, guys, thank you for a great stream. We got 2,600 people in here, 730 likes. I'd love to see that number as close to 1,000 as possible. Tonight, we are sponsored by my great friends over at Turtle Beach. TurtleBeach.com/script. Make sure you guys use that code script at checkout to save 10% off all gaming peripherals. Turtle Beach, tonight's sponsor, right here on Off the Script. All right, man, we're in Ghost of the Deep on Destiny 2. My fire team is yelling. Not very good either. My Titan just shoulder charged himself into a bottomless pit. And some Hive Abomination are whispering in Old English while chucking void bombs like he's in the playoffs. I'm cool, though. I'm calm because I got my Gen 3 Stealth 700 Turtle Beach headset on, and my audio is crispier than a well-rolled Gallahorn rocket. These Hive may be ancient, but my sound is next gen. I can hear a thrall breathing down my neck before it even spawns. And I'm calling out DPS phases like I'm hosting Off the Script on Sirius XM next to Dave LaGreca. My Turtle Beach Stealth 700 Gen 3 headset comes with Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz wireless. So I'm in voice chat and streaming said dungeon wipes to my phone at the same time, like a true multitasking hunter. The memory foam ear cushions, chef's kiss. It's like my ears are being cradled by Saint 14 himself. And the superhuman hearing mode. Yeah, that's not marketing stuff. I literally heard a sniper lining up a shot through a wall like I had Hive Spidey senses. Listen, what am I talking about? If you're playing Destiny 2 and you're running these dungeons blind with a $10 headset from 2007, you deserve to wipe. Upgrade to the Turtle Beach Stealth 700 headset today and start hearing the game the way that I'm hearing the game, like it was meant to be heard. Loud, clear, and full of regret when a sniper one-shots you across the map. Head to turtlebeach.com/script. Use that promo code SCRIPT because in Destiny, sound is survival, and this headset is the real exotic drop. Thank you guys for checking my sponsor out tonight, man. Turtle Beach, turtlebeach.com/script. Use that code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off your purchase. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And please make sure you guys go and check out all the other content on the channel. There's plenty of it. We got more coming this week. We'll be live tomorrow night with the Solid Monster on Tuesday Night Titans, episode 97. And then Jesse and I will be back at it again on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite and the follow-up show, the fallout from Double or Nothing. Michael Krause with the $2 super chat. JDOTS, hope everyone had a great weekend. Yeah. OTS Tribal Queen with a new recommitment to the VIP club. Thank you, OTS Tribal Queen. She is a long-standing VIP member. Boss Mo Jackson with a 199. Your honest thoughts on Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman being in the faction? Hopefully I gave you the answer tonight, Boss Mo Jackson. I think he's a great fit. He's legit, and he's a fucking badass. Micah with a 199. Haven't watched Raw in months. It was kind of boring. Everything's boring, bro. AEW's boring. WWE's boring. Everything right now, pro wrestling, is boring, man. 2025 has not been a good year for North American pro wrestling. One company's too many advertisements, too many commercials, and the other company is just clueless as far as creative is concerned, doesn't listen to their fan base, and fucking jams so much pro wrestling down your throat that they got your eyes bugging out. They don't know what the definition of in moderation means. Boss Mo Jackson with the 499. WWE's taking too long to break Bálor from Judgment Day. The members don't fit the name of the group. I can see Roxy work up a program with Liv. I can see Roxy going after the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe we get Roxy and Liv as a tag team. I don't know what good that would do. There is no tag team division. I think Roxanne being in the group and mixing it up with the group is going to help her get her star power greater. It's going to get her in the eyes of more audience. Because everybody in the Judgment Day is over. Dominic's over. Liv's over. Balor's over. That's all going to feed. Roxanne's going to feed off of all of that. Boss Mo Jackson, thank you, brother. Michelle Moran with a 5. Great main event. Sammy was very well protected, too, which is important. And the Money in the Bank, either Punk or Roman will screw Seth out of the briefcase. If it ain't Punk, it's going to be Roman. Dynasty was one of the worst shows that they've ever done, Sinister. One of the worst shows they've ever done. What are you talking about? What an awful fucking show that was. Nothing on pay-per-view outside of the major matches that they put their effort into have story on AEW. 3 matches had some sort of a build. The rest, no story. Same thing with Dynasty. Boss Mo Jackson with a 199. In my opinion, the Judgment Day has ruined Finn Bálor's stock. I don't think so. I don't think so. Boss Mo Jackson with a 199. Finn should team with Styles and build Bullet Club back up. Yeah, we got no AJ tonight. Where did AJ go? I thought AJ was going after the IC title. I thought Penta was going after the IC title. I thought Penta had something to do with Gable and Dominic. They dropped all that for him being a Money in the Bank, huh? Crazy. Nick Bishop, new membership. Aaron Baker with the new membership. Thank you, guys. Billy with a 34 months. What's up, OTS family? Happy Memorial Day weekend to my brothers and sisters who served for our country. God bless America. Never forget our heroes. Thank you, Billy. Happy to have you here, brother. As always. Styles attacked Gable? No, that was Vikingo who attacked Gable, not Styles. Joker's voice with 7 months. May not be popular opinion, but I'm liking the new Judgment Day drama. Adding Roxanne and Finn's impish reactions just makes me smile. OTS for life, yeah? It was during the commercial. Bro, guys, I get ads. I don't watch it via VPN. I don't know. I don't know. I did not know that. CK920 with a 2. No message. Richard Cohn with a $1 super chat. No message. DJ Iffy. $20 super chat. Yeah. Thank you, DJ Iffy. Court with a $4.99. You bringing up War Games is irrelevant if the characters didn't bring it up. Joining a guy you beat up with ease is like you joining Fightful. I disagree. Watch the fucking show. Watch the show. The explanation that they gave you is sufficient enough, even if I mention War Games and they did not. Paul Heyman's explanation is sufficient enough. Mr. Team Bring It with a $1.99. Should WWE bring back Del Rio even if it's NXT? Absolutely fucking not. Mustang Devin with a $1.99, a $4.99, and a $1.99. WWE signed Alberto, though, right? No. No, they inherited his AAA contract. Del Rio will have nothing to do with WWE. Eating nuggets or tenders with no sauce is serial killer activities. It's fucking weird. No sauce? Combine the tag team titles for both shows at this point. I agree wholeheartedly. Burn the women's tag team titles and merge the men's tag team titles at this point. Uncle Dave, what's wrong with Del Rio? He is a woman abuser. He's the lowest form of shit that you could possibly be. Big Haas with a $10 super chat. The Dangerous Coalition needs 2 guys and a girl like back in the day. Make Mariah May the girl. She's an instant made star from it. Dragunov. And one of the Trick Ricky Saints and Theory male options. I could see Dragunov. I could see Theory. I could see Ethan Page. Mariah May is going to NXT. I do not rush a 4th member, but I do see a 4th member happening. Major with a $1.99. Roxanne versus Liv in a baby oil on a pole match. You got some lovely ladies in the WWE, man. You really do. I know. Y Green with a $10 super chat. My son Benjamin is your biggest fan. His birthday was on Saturday. Can you give him a shout out? He loves WWE but loves you due to your honesty and realness. He is OTS for life. Benjamin, happy birthday, my friend. I don't know how old Benjamin is, but I urge he shares with the OTS community a cold beverage to celebrate his day of birth. Hope you had a good one, brother. And thank you for supporting the show. And Major with a $1.99. Lyra sounds like a Shakespeare character. I can't. Lyra's another cutie, man. Guys, that's all I got for you. I don't know. Like you guys don't want to chat with me anymore, man. No more super chats. That's it, huh? Okay. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for a great stream. I'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday Night Titans. Even you guys are fucking bored, bro. I know, I feel it. I feel it. Let's get out of here. Thank you for a great night, guys. Hopefully you got something out of tonight's stream. I barely made it through. Barely made it through. I'm exhausted. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the content, including last night's Double or Nothing post show. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. Live from Tampa. Until tomorrow, episode 97. Tuesday Night Titans. The Solid Monster and I got you covered on everything. Tuesday Night Titans tomorrow right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.